Hello and welcome to my channel, which has pick a card readings, intuitive readings about the month ahead, intuitive like tests and exercises, and also intuitive readings on current events and different happenings in the world. So there's a lot of things on this channel. And I've decided to do a reading on there's a Netflix documentary, and it's called The Perfect Neighbor, and it's about a woman called Susan Lorincz who's very unstable, very impulsive, and she was very angry, and she would get angry at children. She was just a all-round unpleasant, some would even say evil woman. And she killed someone called Ajike Owens. So I'm going to get into some questions about Susan Lorincz and sort of the energy around her and just whatever else comes up. And I should also add, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is just my intuitive read on the situation, but it's for entertainment purposes only. So I'll just put that legal caveat. And so let's get started. So I'm going to make sure the camera's rolling, and I'm going to, get into my first question, whatever question. And I put like a sort of a protective. First, I'm going to ask pure consciousness to clear the space, but I'm going to also put a protective energy because this woman's a very negative energy, Susan. So I'm just going to put a protective energy around my space because I can feel almost her energy almost wanting to invade into my space. Even though it's not like she's not in spirit form, but the thing is that sometimes people who are alive, you could almost channel their energy as if it's in spirit form. So that's an interesting thing to think about, right? Just because somebody's dead doesn't mean that they can't be in spirit form in some level. I'm hearing that for this woman for a long time, there's been an extreme divide between what she wants people to believe and what's actually true, and she's been doing this for, I'm hearing like 17 lifetimes over and over. It's almost what she's done is over and over and over of what she wants, a divide between what she wants people to believe and what's actually true. Like there's this big divide, and it's come to the point, like it's just this theme over and over, what she wants people to believe and what's actually true. And it's like her mind has just become so addled with this over and over again, because it's like this is not just started in this lifetime, but she would tell lies over and over and over, and sort of, what would she do? Like I'm hearing that it's important to look into her. I don't know why I got the past lives is the first thing, but it's kind of like her pattern, what I'm saying is her pattern is very ingrained, but that's a very important thing about her. Her pattern is very ingrained. And it's almost like this life, there was a reckoning for her behavior, which I'm hearing much, much worse with much, not saying that it's the casual, there's been many casualties of her behavior. And it's like, and I'm not going to say she can't help herself, because I believe that she can, but like what she did was, yes, it was intention. I'm hearing this is intent, like how this shooting was intentional. I'm hearing yes, it was intentional. Yes, it was. But I'm hearing the loose caboose in her mind is also running the show, but I'm hearing yes, it was. And this is for entertainment purposes only. So this is for entertainment purposes only, but I'm hearing that going into her intention about what she did is important because she exemplifies a devious pathology. She really exemplifies a devious pathology that is, she exemplifies a devious pathology that is found in narcissists, that is found in sociopaths, that is found in all sorts of devious behaviors, but she brings it together with a flair, and we don't mean this in a good way. We don't mean this in a positive way. It's a very negative flair, but it's hard to categorize her because her psyche is fractured, and we do not mean. It's interesting because when a psyche is fractured, often it indicates multiple personalities. It indicates multiple personalities, but in this case, it is not multiple personalities. It is not anything like that whatsoever. It's a fracture of a mind that she has control of, but she also does not have control of at the same time. And she does. She's very much, we see that she did what she did. It was a conscious, did she feel bad for it? Not really. Did she feel bad? Not really. She felt 100% bad for the consequences. Did she feel bad? It's not. Okay, let's get into it. She felt 100% bad for the consequences that befell her. 100% bad in regards to that. Did she feel bad about what she did to, like how it harmed? Those are very, very small. Very, very small. There is a tendril, a very, very small tendril of guilt in her, but it is too small. It's kind of like, oh well, and I hear something. I don't want to put this on YouTube, but I heard something very disturbing in her psyche. It was like, and I want to keep this YouTube friendly and not be so offensive, but she said she's just I kind of went into her psyche, and she said, oh well, she's just the N-word. She's just an N-word, and the world just has too many N-words. Is it sad? A little bit. I'm hearing, like, is it sad? She's kind of a little bit, but well, they'll get over it. She's just an N-word, and it's just like, but it's almost like the small amount of guilt that she feels is very, very small. And I'm seeing an image of her psyche. Is she a sociopath? Yeah, she has sociopathic tendencies. Yes, she has narcissistic tendencies. But she's kind of a different breed of we wouldn't call her a traditional sociopath, having the patterns that many sociopaths have. She's, if it was to look, if those kind of words were connected to an energy field, we wouldn't call her a sociopath per se, because of the small amount of guilt that she has. But she's almost a very, very, the word I see is grotesque narcissist, a very grotesque narcissist that is so self-serving, and let's get into it. Like, she exemplifies self-centeredness to the extreme, but it's not to the cold. It's mixed with fiery emotion, and it's not to the cold. She's certainly not a psychopath. She's not a psychopath, but she is a impulsive, and And then there's something. Let's see what else. How did she? How okay? There's something's coming up. How does she justify? I'm gonna use some. I haven't used cards yet. I've realized that. And I normally use cards for meetings. Okay, how did and does she justify this in her mind? I'm hearing that how she justified it in her mind then is how she justifies it in her mind now, and that's in. Let's get that because that's very important. How she justifies things in her mind. How she justifies it. How does she justify? Because shooting through an unarmed person through a locked door. That's very unjustifiable. But how does she justify? How does she justify it, Susan? Because it's. I'm hearing her perverse psychology is very interesting, and she's different from a usual King of Cups. I'm hearing. Okay, yeah, we've got the High Priestess. Okay, I'm hearing that's complete. These. Okay. So I'm hearing, very small amounts of guilt. Like, when does she feel guilt? Yeah, it's very, very small. But I'm hearing this image of this small amount of guilt. It feels like a pebble. But I'm hearing this red, like, personality of just entitlement. It overthrows everything else. And she just... It's so entitled that like it overflows everything else. So a psychopath, she's definitely not a psychopath, because a psychopath would have absolutely no guilt. Mind you, is her a sociopath? It's more like a different breed of sociopath. She's not the energetic. She's not the typical energetic type. If it was associated with an energy, that words are always associated with the energetic pattern, but okay, how does she justify it in her mind? And I'm gonna get me on my other cards here. So we've got the Page of Wands, Nine of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Knight of Cups, and the Seven of Wands. I'm hearing. Okay. I'm pulling the word stop and wait. And then when I was hearing was, I feel, so I do, so I'm allowed. I feel, so I do, and that automatically makes me allowed. So allowed to. Like, so she feels that her feelings always make her like a very entitled energy. Like, she feels whatever she feels. Like, she almost takes emotional immaturity. I'm sure you know someone who's emotionally immature to a extreme level. And I've got these two words that came out: stop and wait. So I feel, so I do, and so I'm allowed. I feel and I do, so allowed. So somehow she doesn't understand the concept. Like, there's something where she doesn't understand the concept that just because you feel, you can't do. Like, just because you feel, you can't do. Like, most people, that's something that most people understand. Like, maybe somebody pisses you off, you want to punch your boss. Like, maybe, like, you see a child walking by with this delicious ice cream and you're really hungry, you really feel like ice cream, you feel like that ice cream, maybe you don't have any money and you really want that ice cream, you're an ice cream addict, so you grab the child's ice cream and you start eating. But you don't do that. No one does that, because you understand that you're feeling things doesn't mean you can do them. Just because you feel like an urge doesn't mean that you automatically can satisfy that. But she feels, I feel, like, this is in cycle. I feel, and I do, and therefore I'm justified. I feel, and then I do, and so I'm justified. So this whole psyche, this thing in her psyche, she's justified. So how does she justify it now? How does she dust it? Stop, wait. Oh, I just couldn't help myself. I felt like doing it. Like, it's like she's still running the same. the same in their head. Well, they were harassing me, and I felt like how I felt, and I did what I did, and therefore I felt what I felt, and I did what I did, and there was justified. So she isn't able to break up that cycle of feeling, doing, and then justified. And then we've got the stop and the wait card, right? Most people know stop and wait. You stop when something happens, right? Like you can stop, right? You can stop yourself, but she doesn't. But I'm hearing it's a little bit different from, like, sociopaths are often like that, but it's almost worse than a sociopath because she's more in the narcissistic camp. I'm hearing even a sociopath is able to, like, have more self-control, I'm hearing. So it's almost like she's this grotesque narcissist. Even a sociopath has more self-control than she has. Like I stop, I feel, and I do. No, I don't stop. I feel, I do, therefore I'm justified. Because I felt it. I felt it. I felt, and then I am justified. So a lot of justification and fail. So fail, like something other word with fail. Yeah, but fail, weary. Like she doesn't grow weary of this, or it's like beginning. Like it's like this cycle. It doesn't stop. Guilt, and she doesn't have enough guilt to stop the cycle. She has such a small amount of guilt, but does she feel guilt? A little bit. It's not like she's a stone cold psychopath, but she's so, it's such a minuscule guilt, like compared to, it's like when I say she feels guilt, I'm going to be very clear. I see a very minuscule, and when I mean it's minuscule, I mean it's minuscule. It's not, she doesn't give like what happened a big thought. It's just her own emotions, back to her own emotions, her own. I'm hearing with the high priestess, will I ever get out of this situation? Will I ever get out of this situation? Will I ever get out of this situation? Another question I'm going to ask is how is she faring in prison? That's an interesting question. I didn't think of that before, but I'm thinking of it now. Yeah, I'm going to ask that. How is she faring in prison? Because I know different prisons are different. Like I know that there's different types of prisons, and I do not know what prison she's in. I just know that she's went to prison for 25 years in 2023, but I don't know if it's a women's prison. I don't know if it's minimum, medium, or what do you call it? Minimum, maximum, like the medium, something in between. I don't know if it's near crocodiles. I don't know anything about the prison, but let's ask, how is she faring in prison? And then I'll ask, is there some sort of past life? I saw that there was a lot of past life before. Is there a past life between, like, Susan, but in a past life with Ajike Owens, or maybe another past life that would sort of be relevant for this. But okay, I want to ask. Just let me make sure the camera's still rolling. I want to ask, how is she faring in prison? And the world came out. The world is almost like, because the world is an ending card, and I'm hearing, when will this ever end? I'm hearing she's trapped. I heard the word trap. I'm seeing it like 1,000 times, trapped. But let's see what else. The world, I'm going to see what other, 4 from the bottom. Perhaps 3, the Fool. So we've got the Fool, Page of Pentacles. She's almost feels like a child. I'm hearing, will anybody be nice to me? Will anybody be nice to me? And death. So it's sort of like she's kind of gone into this state where her mind is. Okay, let's see, what state has she gone into. Let's tune into her energy. She is. She's kind of, I've seen this image of like this black all over her her psyche and her mind, and she's not processing what's happening. It's just too much to bear. It's too much to sort of even like, it's just like she just she can hardly believe that it's happening. She did not think, like, she's so used to sort of throwing her weight around. She just, it's such a like, she cannot believe that this is actually happening. She can't. So it's like, that's her, it's just like her one thought, if you can almost, and she can't talk her way out of this situation. It's like she's in this forced self-reflection with the moon, but she can't, like, she can't even reflect. She can't. Let's do this other deck right here. I always use this deck. Okay, I heard 5 from the bottom is important. Let's see what we got here. Habit. She's kind of putting herself up in a habit as best as possible, but compulsion, she's finding her usual compulsions don't work in prison. Yeah, not like when she's used that at home. Her usual compulsions, she's really used to throwing her, like, her weight around, like in her home, right? In her home, when she had that home, she's really used to throwing her weight around, but she's finding her compulsions, her way of being does not fit here. Confusion. She's almost like confused about what, there's just like this layer of confusion. Like, is this even happening? Slave. She feels like a slave. A slave to the other inmates. I heard yes. There's like ones that are more like wise than she is. Like, they're wise to the ways of the prison. She doesn't know what to do, how to sleep, how to act. She's just in a constant state of almost like she can't, like, you know, if you were to like hit somebody over the head by a 2x4, right? Like, they're like, she's just basically in this state of confusion. Like, she almost doesn't believe that this could have ever happened to her. She doesn't believe that this could ever have happened to her. Like, this is just not something that could ever happen. And let's see, is she, well, I don't think she'd be enjoying herself in prison, but let's just see, is she, I don't think she would be. Well, let's pull, is she enjoying herself in prison? She's like trying to wait it out, but she's not. She's kind of stuck in this forced sort of this forced energy that's not working. This is what I hear. Like, she's trying to meet up, like, do her old. I keep on getting she's doing her old ways, hoping that it will get her through prison, but it doesn't. Her ways do not adapt to prison. Her ways do not adapt to prison. Attack. And like, okay, how are the other inmates treating her? And I got attack or fascination. Fascination take. So attack. So let's see if I can get some images. How are they treating her? Because I know it's different. I'm hearing 40% ignore her, and then 40% find it kind of fascinating, and I'm hearing 20% are really like 20% push her around. I'm hearing like 20%, but 40% ignore her, 40% are fascinated, and it's like, okay, it's kind of like when she's in this prison, they kind of, it's like everything, okay, almost like everything that she did outside, like, it comes back in like in this concentrated, it's like 20% of the inmates are kind of like, that don't ignore her. 40% fascinated, I guess, with the documentary. 40% ignore. 20% are just, they make her afraid. Yeah, like they dish it out. Okay, the Six of Pentacles, like it's giving somebody something. They dish out exactly, like she's almost a bully beacon, is what I heard. The word, a bully beacon for 20% of the population, and they basically they constantly shake her stability, and it's almost like how she was constantly shaking everybody else's stability. She can't, like, she was kind of the bully out here, but it's now like people are always shaking. This 20% of the population are kind of like, they're acting just like her, and sort of like, what are you doing? Why are you putting your, I'm hearing socks like that. Like, it's kind of like they pick on her 20%, and it's kind of like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing like, it's like she feels very exposed and very, very chained to what she did, and she's kind of like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? But it's not because, I'm like I say, it's a minuscule amount of guilt, but it's like constantly she's being like harassed in the same, like, you know, like people having little problems with her, like having, I'm hearing like, she's a bully beacon now for 20% of the population, the prison population. Like, oh, what did you do that for? What did you do? And it's not like, and I'm hearing it really irritates her how the people are treating her. And I'm hearing it's not even, it could be worse. Like there's prison violence that's really, really, like really bad, right? I'm hearing that it's like, but to form a prison violence that she's getting, I'm hearing it could be a lot worse, but she takes it really, really, like she takes a magnifying glass and she takes it really badly. Like and I'm hearing it could be even so much worse, but it's like I keep on hearing she's a bully beacon for people that want to give someone a hard time. And she really, it really irritates her. It really makes her feel unsafe. It really, like, it shakes her to the core. And yeah, rival, like they kind of see her as an emotional, not a rival, but sort of an emotional threat or something. Like it's like she's become a beacon, and they see these 20% of the population, they really, they see her as this sort of, not a rival, like they're jealous of her, not that they really see her as a rival, but they see her as a red light is out of her forehead, and they kind of like, oh, what are you doing this for? What are you doing this for? Oh, and they'll bring it up too. Oh, you like, they'll kind of bring up some of them will bring up what she did. Like they kind of, they'll bring it up, but so I'm hearing some of them are really just harass her. Some of them are just bored and they don't really care what she's done, but some are really angry about what she's done and they feel it's a disgrace, so they want to harass her. But other ones are just harassing her just for the hell of it, like just to kind of boredom and everything, and like saying, oh, you're stupid, and it's like they're really attacking her ego, her feeling of being all right. Like it's like really shaking her stability, but it's like it could be so much worse, but it really gets on her nerves. Even though it could be so much worse, like it's kind of words and like small things of harassment, but it could be so much worse, and like hate, like negative sort of hatred towards her, negative hatred that makes her feel very rotten inside. It's like, yeah, it's like, it's so I'm gonna ask, what is the past life or even parallel life, what did she do something like this before, maybe to Ajike or to somebody else? Has she done this to somebody else? Seven of Cups, I'm hearing from that, take your pick. She's done it a million times and more, or a lot of times and more. And I'm hearing that in these lifetimes she had no, I'm hearing, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing she's done the same kind of thing. But yeah, the Ace of Swords, Three of Swords cause people's pain. But I'm hearing in past lives, she enjoyed the pain she caused. For in this, it's kind of like in this lifetime she's made, and it sounds very funny to say, but it's like, it's almost her feeling, like I said before, she has a minuscule amount of guilt. Like a minuscule amount of guilt. But I'm hearing that her minuscule amount of guilt, that she feels any guilt, is actually an improvement on the past lives where she did the same kind of thing, but she had no guilt. Or I'm hearing she enjoyed it in some cases. Like she really, but she's not as bad as past lives, which is pretty intense. So what did she do in a past life? So thief. Okay, I'm hearing that in a past life I'm hearing that that she was almost like in a past life she was like she killed Ajike again, but she basically, okay, this is what I'm hearing, that she to get all their stuff, she said, oh, they're just, I mean, like, it's almost like it's something that happened in like the 40s or something. Yeah, I'm hearing the 1940s. Like she was sort of like there, and I'm hearing it's got different threads of her doing the same. I'm hearing the word, oh, they're just like the N word. They're just Ners, and no one will miss them. They're just that word. I won't say the actual word, but you know what I mean, right? They're just Ners. Nothing will miss. We won't miss them. So it's kind of like no one will miss them. We don't miss them type thing. And then basically, as I'm hearing that she did the same thing to her family in like time, but she completely got away with it. And almost like she really said, oh, I want their stuff. She wanted more, like they had something she want, like just some stuff. And she just, like, I'm hearing the word cyanide or something. Like, it was something like, yeah, like cyanide in a glass. And then basically, like, just very selfish, just to get some stuff. Like, just, she has no respect for human life type thing. And that kind of came out again. She just doesn't have, but she did it almost before. And then took their stuff. And it wasn't even that much stuff, like it's like, but she just wanted it. She just wanted it, and then she got their stuff, and then it's kind of like through just, yeah, something like that, and oh, that's just unfortunate, something happened to them, and then it's sort of like there was no justice, there was no real questions back then. So it's almost like she repeated, and something about it was very awful because like she almost, like, she just totally ruined like the mom, like almost like it's like the same family, like it's almost the same, like her having the same kids, and then she just basically, like, one was left or something, one was basically left, and then they were just, or what, one was really damaged. She just ruined the whole family and took their stuff, and then basically, oh well, it's just like she just the absolute self-centeredness. And then it's almost like in this life she found them again and did sort of, but this is a different thing. She didn't take anything, but it's kind of like, you know, she didn't actually steal anything from them, but it's kind of like like their mother. I mean, well, that's a given, but it's almost like she reunited with them and had a chance to be nicer in this life, but she didn't take it, and did the same thing, but that this time she didn't annihilate the entire, almost the entire family, but this time like the family was left, like not just but like, one person, because she had like, gone after many people before, but now she's like reunited in this way into this lifetime where she basically is, held accountable, because she wasn't held accountable beforehand. But it's like, yeah, she had a chance to be nicer, instead she was a foe. Like she's got a history of being people's enemies, and like, and I'm hearing the word plantation times too, like really, really, like, it's like she continually harasses the same family over and over and over, like it's almost like the same, like they're reincarnating the same family, the same mother, same amount of kids, and then she was like harassing them in, like, the slavery times again, and harassing them, being mean to them again. It's like she kind of harasses them over and over and over again, like just as a matter of course. And it's just like she finally might stop. I'm hearing might, but she stop her behavior this next lifetime. But she's a very slow learner. She just it's like an I'm hearing like she was a slave. I'm hearing it, like seeing an image of like very like slave owners, and just being very, like being on a plantation and being this like cruel slave owner, but it was very like, with a word like sadistic, like a very cruel slave owner, right? Like a very, to them, like just absolutely like an awful woman. And so I'm hearing it, this how she is in this lifetime is actually an improvement from past lives, because she's been even more, it's kind of like it's like she's been 40 lifetimes of being the bad guy, like over and over and over again. And it's like she becomes a little bit less bad each lifetime, a little bit. And in this lifetime, she hardly has any guilt, but she has a tiny morsel of guilt, whereas before she enjoyed sowing seeds of destruction. But now she still has that energy in this lifetime. She still has that energy, but it's become, okay, she feels a tiny bit of guilt after which she's done what she's done, but really morally compromised in a way that's very bizarre, and then it's narcissistic to the extreme, in a way that you would think it would be sociopathic, but she doesn't really have the same energy fields of the usual sociopath, although you could say she is a sociopath, but she doesn't have the energetic markings of a usual sociopath. Even though she has sociopathic energies, it's more like a narcissist, a really extreme narcissist. Okay, like extreme narcissist, but yeah, she just oppresses this family and over again, and so it's almost like the same sort of anger, like the same anger came out. And what was her, okay, I'm going to ask another question. What was her intention? What was her intention when she shot the gun through the locked door? What was her intention? What was her intention? Was her intention 100% like to unalive Ajike? Was it 80%? Because the psyche can be a very sort of a complicated place, right? Because it's just like people can do things in an impulse and then feel bad a couple seconds later. They can be fully hell-bent on a course of action. So let's see, what was in that moments before what was her intentionality? Did she let's try and capture her psyche. She's a very damaged psyche, but let's see if we can capture something. When was her intent? Was her intent to to unalive Ajike? Like, was that 100% or did she just want to teach her a lesson? Yeah, I'm hearing she just wanted to, she did, but she also wanted to teach her with judgment. She wanted to teach her a lesson. Like her psyche's very, I mean, which doesn't even make any sense because she wasn't even doing anything. She was just angry about how her child was be treated. But she just wanted to teach her a lesson. She wanted to, it's like this energy of really wanting to, yeah, she, in a sense, she wanted to shoot her, but she didn't. It wasn't like 100%, I want to kill this person, although it sort of was. It was like, it's kind of like I want to it just like I want to teach this person a lesson. I want to be the person that teaches this person a lesson, is what I'm getting. And I want to deliver like whatever form of inane justice this is. And like, but would she have done it if she knew the consequences? No, she wouldn't have done it. So it's almost like she has this side that is completely takes over and does these sorts of things does these sorts of things, but she wants to maintain her stability. Like she wants to somehow like maintain her stability at the same time. She wants to have the kind of the power that to be able to enforce her own form of justice, but she doesn't want the consequences. So she wouldn't have done it if she knew the consequences for herself. So King of Cups. So she intended to do it. She wanted, I'm hearing at this moment, she wanted power. She wanted pure, unadulterated, like power. That's what she wanted. She wanted unadulterated. She wanted to teach her a lesson. I'm hearing she wanted power with the magician, and she wanted with the Knight of Swords. She wanted to teach her a lesson, and maybe she wanted to. I'm hearing the word maim. She wanted to maim her a bit, but she wouldn't want the like. She wouldn't want the actual responsibility of. She wanted to basically like it's like this almost like her, it's hard to even get into her psyche. It's so, when I ask this question, it's kind of like, did she mean to? She did, but she didn't. She like, I'm hearing she wanted to like teach her a lesson and make things change by enforcing her form of justice. And she like she wanted to just get that energy out of it, enforcing her justice. And what does she truly think about what she's done? I'm hearing again, it's selfishness. 10 of Swords. Her life is over and will have constant conflict. Like she doesn't seem to have the capacity. Does she feel bad for the kids? Let's ask, does she feel bad for the kids at least? Does she feel bad? The Six of Swords. The Six of Swords. The Two of Swords. The Ace of Pentacles. The Star. Does she feel bad for the kids? She's just, I keep on saying her difficulty. It's just like she doesn't even have the bandwidth to even feel bad for them. She doesn't have the she's just so chained to her. She's just so chained to her own stuff. She's not able to even like. And I guess I'm trying to find some cards that would indicate that she feel bad, but it's just her burden. It's like her burden. And when I saw the Victory, it was kind of like, it is kind of like her her, like, she almost feels that, like, on some level they all deserved it, like, is what she, like, she feels on some level like they all, like, it was her, like, they just all deserved it, like, that there's a part of her who feels that, like, they just, yeah, they all deserved it. And how does she feel about, like, yeah, part of her feels that way, like, oh, they just deserved it, they all just kind of deserved it, but it's kind of a weird, her psyche is very, very weird, like, it's like, they, like, well, why did they all deserve it? It doesn't make any sense, right? Why would the, like, it's not logical, right? It's not. Does she feel any kind of remorse? She just feels like her power is gone. That's what she feels like. Her power is gone. Her energy of like, being able to execute energetic, like, goals or demands is gone. And then I'm hearing she feels like everyone hates her, which is, well, it's true. She hates people, and she's kind of thinking, how am I going to escape? Like, she's almost never going to, she's like, how am I going to escape this and ever have a safe, like, she's like, I'm never going to have a safe, like, like, place to be. She's like, I'm never going to find any kind of safety. And it's almost like she wants to have safety, but she goes about it in a very, like, wrong way, like, in a very wrong way. And so I'm hearing, okay, then one more question, and then I'll stop. Okay, the likelihood, okay, the likelihood of her, I believe she's a 25-year prison sentence. So what does it look for her? What does life look for her at the end of that 25-year prison sentence? She might even just be, what does life look for her? If she ever makes it that long, what does life look for her? Okay, we've got the Six of Pentacles. What does life look for her at the end of the Five of Swords? The Five of Swords, that's like the ultimate defeat card. But then it's interesting, it's mixed with the Six of Pentacles, the ultimate defeat card. The Three of Cups. Okay, what does life look for her at the end of this sentence? King of Cups. But yeah, it's interesting, the most defeated, embarrassment, home, embarrassed home, and boredom, embarrassed home and boredom. And it's almost like the only way she'll get out alive is by, and I'm not saying that anyone's necessarily going to unalive her, but it's kind of like the only way she'll get out alive is if she lets her old self die, and the boredom pushes her into this state of self-reflection. I see her being a shell. If she ever even gets out, it's kind of like she's a shell of a human being. Forgive yourself. You've done nothing wrong. So it's almost like she has to get away from this mindset of forgive yourself. She doesn't know how to do guilt and fully take on the pain of what she's done. And the only way she'll survive is and regain any sense of semblance of trust with herself is by doing that. But she doesn't seem like she has the capacity. I'm hearing it's very unlikely. I'm hearing like 4% chance that she'll do any sense of reflection or like she doesn't have really the capacity to really do that. Everything is just mixed with manipulation, and her psyche is so addled with lies and half-truths that it's almost, I'm hearing it's better off if she would just, for her sake, is like she's just like almost like she just there's people like that. It's just like there isn't any hope for her to like even like she doesn't have the capacity to do that. She doesn't have the capacity. But it's like there's almost a 4 or 5% chance she may produce a slightly different energy but it all comes out wrong. Like she just doesn't. She's truly a diseased human being, and any kind of attempt at being good is just so corrupted by what she's done and her level of lack of character in this lifetime that it feels like the Five of Swords energy is just what like anger. That anger, it's just wrong. She doesn't know how to truly acknowledge her wrongs. She's just angry, and she doesn't know how to. It's like this circular. Her mind has too many circular loops, and it's too compulsive. And I'm hearing like if she ever does get out of prison, it's kind of like she'll be gone in 2 years after that. If she even gets out, it's very like she's not going to survive on that. Like with the Five of Swords says it all, like the defeat card. Somebody, wait, it's kind of like she's kind of a shell of the human of a human that's not even like there anymore. It's kind of like because her mind is so diseased. I hope that was explained well, but and then maybe the whole so you created this situation. So basic, what's the lesson from this? What's kind of the lesson from this is sort of that don't be, I'm hearing don't be a Karen, or don't be this woman. Don't be you have the power. You created the situation. That you have the power to change it. What I'm hearing is that this person, they were totally overrun. This person is an extreme example of what not to be. Right? They continued. She just continued in the area of her ways with how she was, instead of getting help or like perhaps moving into a community where there weren't any children. Right? She just completely. Instead, she completely abdicated her responsibility for everything, right? She just put her anger out on people instead of going within, and it's an extreme example of that pattern. So it's almost like showing this sick pattern. Her sick pattern shows not what not to be, right? Like before it kind of shows, right? Like it gets worse and worse. It gets worse and worse and worse. And it kind of shows when we as humans don't rein ourselves back from these dark impulses, what happens, right? It ruins, I mean, she's ruined multitudes of lives. And if she had just reined it back a little bit, then or a lot, like she could, this would not have happened. So she's a sort of an archetype of allowing things to just get worse and worse and worse instead of pulling them back. And also she's kind of an example of demonic behavior for people to see. And when that happens, it can kind of, when there's I'm hearing like when there's an example of such demonic behavior, it sort of puts a stamp on the consciousness of people knowing not what to, it's an example of what not to be, right? Sometimes examples like that can darken the energetic world, but sometimes it can sort of be a signpost of what not to be. I hope that makes sense. But that's what I got from this reading. Very kind of dark, horrible energy, but also pretty disturbing. Anyway, but it's important to explore these dark, disturbing topics as well. All right. Bye-bye.